So Cheryl, walk us through your journey of becoming a professional Canadian women hockey player with the Mississauga Chiefs and then competing in the Winter Olympics.
Oh, geez. And I think about it, it's incredible, really. It started, on a backyard rink, really, with siblings, three other siblings, two boys, one girl, playing road hockey and the usual, wanting to play a sport that I wasn't supposed to play. I remember being chased around at Port Credit Arena because I made a boys team when I was young and I got chased into a dressing room by an angry parent. So it starts quite young, the journey. But really, I started playing Mississauga with the Mississauga Chiefs. And I was an MGHL girl through and through. I still live in Mississauga. And I started playing there, and at the time, Mississauga had a great league. The numbers were strong, and it was considered, much like Brampton, one of the strongest organizations. And so I was playing there and loving it. And then I got to a point. I was around 15 years of age, and I was probably one of the strongest members on my team, and there was really nowhere to go. So I moved to Toronto. Well, I did move to Toronto. Thank you, parents, for lending me your car after I hit 16 and letting me go to Toronto and playing for a great coach, Ken Duffton with the Toronto Arrows, which became a sort of a legacy organization that really sort of wrote the rule with respect to professionalism in team sport for women's hockey. And had a lot of success there. Went on to make a few provincial teams and on to the Olympics. But when I came back to finish my career, Vince, the irony of it is that my last year was actually played in Mississauga. I had my daughter, and I will never forget. That was where my career started. Sort of Hazel McCallion dropped the first puck, the first game I ever played at, and the last. So thank you, Hazel, the Hurricane, for being a part of the journey. But I remember that final game in Mississauga. So we won the national championships in Prince Edward Island, but I finished the career with the Mississauga team and looking up in the stands and seeing my daughter. And she was only, 6, 7 weeks old. And I remember playing and thinking, wow, this has really come full circle. And the opportunities that are now out there for her, having been to the Olympics 2 times by that point, and watching sort of the growth of the game was pretty tremendous. And I'll never forget, having all my teammates support me because I was one of the first ones sort of to have a baby and come back, be nursing in the dressing room. I might add is quite interesting when your daughter all of a sudden has, 20 other aunties because, you're nursing in the dressing room and they're all kind of laughing and looking because they're young. But no, it was just a great experience, but a journey that, had a lot of ups and downs along the way.
I was reading, Cheryl, that your family impacted a lot in your hockey journey.
Yeah.
And that was really cool to see because my dad was obviously a huge influence on me playing hockey and going through the process.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it goes for my grandparents. I mean, I'm often talking about my grandparents, my grandmother in particular, who, was supposed to be in that movie, well, in the League of Her Own, sort of the movie, because she had a contract for Wrigley Field in the 1940s. And she was a woman who said, you know what, I'm not going to go. And I knew her story. And so by the time I, got to the age of, 8, 9, when I was like, I'm going to the Olympics, Mom, I'm going to the Olympics, Grandma, I knew her story. And I'll never forget what she said to me. She just said, Cheryl, believe in yourself, give it everything you've got. You'll never know unless you try. And so, I sort of got those words of encouragement at a very young age from a woman who didn't feel at the time that she could sort of leave her family to pursue her dream athletically. And so, those words of encouragement really sort of sat on my shoulder throughout my career saying, you can do this. And of course, you have to have, supportive parents because, I wasn't making any money in women's hockey. That's as the career went on. So I was living at home. But early on, there was a lot of naysayers, why is she in a men's sport and why is she playing? And, why isn't she playing ringette? And I did start there, and there's nothing wrong with great skating game, but my passion was for hockey. And I had parents that said, well, why not? Like, why not her? And then, of course, siblings who, would beat me up, but it was all good. Gave me a lot of strength and the ability to get back up. But again, they were very supportive. And I remember my brother in '02, he wasn't able to make it to the Olympics. And he was the first guy I called outside of, outside of my family. Well, first guy I called outside of being at the rink with my family. And, he was bawling. He was having a house party. I don't know if my parents love that. But anyway, bawling because he'd been there every step of the way kind of thing. So, I think it takes a real village to support dreams, and whether they're, no matter what they are, you need support in your lives and from the community to be able to achieve what you believe you can. And so I'm very blessed to have a husband who said, "Yeah, keep going, girl. Keep going." And it takes that kind of support for someone to really see the dream that you have. Because for my husband, he had to let me go for 2 years, or 2 full years. And I say let me go, because he wasn't sure if he was getting me back. But it was really, centralization. In '02, you leave for a full year, and in '06, I left for a full year. So, financially and emotionally, that support was so required or needed in order to be successful.